Meeting is called to order. I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening for the January regular school board meeting. And we trust that you had a good holiday season and certainly wish the best of the new year to you, that you'll have a great 2014. So we're glad you're here with us tonight. We're going to move along here. I'm going to ask Dwayne Knight if he will do the invocation.
Okay, let us pray. God our Father, as we gather for this meeting, may we be guided by your wisdom, your love, and the abiding presence of your Spirit. For your wisdom teaches us about what is truly important and gives us the courage to do the right thing. Your love reminds us of our compassion is not only for those we think are deserving, but for all of those children who are in need. Your Spirit empowers us to recognize the ways in which we are blessed and to build a community of learning that is characterized by joy, creativity, and spirit of service. Through our work, may Caldwell County Schools grow and prosper. Make this our prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight that's going to be led by two 8th grade students from Oak Hill School. We're glad to have them here with us, and if they'll come forward, David Moore and Stephen Spears.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, David and Stephen, for being here and providing that for us tonight. Next item is the approval of the agenda, and the board has that agenda in front of them. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And next is the approval of the minutes. And on December the 9th, we had our regular scheduled board meeting. And you've had an opportunity to review those minutes. And also on that evening, we had the a closed session. And you've had opportunity to review those as well. Do I hear a motion that we approve those minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes for December 9th, 2013, the regular board meeting minutes, as well as the closed session minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, additions, deletions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And we had a special session on December the 16th, and you've had an opportunity to look over those as well. Do I hear a motion that we approve the minutes from December 16th?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes of December 16th, 2013 special session be approved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is honors and recognitions, and we usually have a number of students here for the art gallery, but since we're coming off a 2-week break for the holidays, we do have a recognition, and the board is going to move down front, and so we can congratulate those who are being recognized. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Libby Brown, Community Relations Director.
Thank you. Chairman Pennell, board members, and Dr. Stone, we would like to recognize one of our school business partnerships this evening. So it's our pleasure to recognize Anything Office. of Lenoir in downtown Lenoir. And the company was established in 1926, and Michelle Calvert, president today, purchased the business in 2004. Recently, I'm sure you've heard, but Anything Office was recognized by the Caldwell County Chamber of Commerce as the Caldwell Small Business of the Year. So they are recognized throughout Caldwell County for their leadership in business, and we too want to recognize them tonight on another matter. They recently held an event in the Caldwell County Schools and also in Burke County and Alexander County Schools called the Rescue My Desk Giveaway. And everyone in the district had a chance to participate, and I think now we have a lot of people who are green with envy if they didn't participate, because they gave away new furniture, equipment, and desk accessories totaling $15,000. And we had two winners in our school district who are here tonight. We had first place winner, Happy Valley. No, I'm sorry, that would be Oak Hill School. So the first place winner was Oak Hill School, and that's Kim King, and she is the lead secretary. And we also had a second place winner, Happy Valley School, and that's Melanie Rowland, and she's the lead secretary. So I have proof in the pudding tonight as well. I have, you know, they say a picture says 1,000 words. So here is the before and after that we'd like to pass around to our audience tonight, just to kind of get a glimpse of. It was a total makeover for these offices in our Caldwell County schools. And Sid, you want to come up and just kind of start looking around? So we're very pleased to honor tonight Oak Hill School, and that's Kim King. So Kim, if you want to.
Tell you what, since Michelle is here, and she's also the new, congratulations, president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Why don't you come up, introduce yourself, Michelle, and your guests, and talk a little bit about the contest, and then we would like to give you the certificate for being such a phenomenal business partner with us as well.
Yes. And David Poston, David also coordinated this event, so it started, I think, with David. So if you want to come up, Michelle, and say a few words.
Yeah, and this was David's idea, and of course I thought it was a great idea. As a business in this community, we like to give back and support our community as much as we can. When we're blessed, we like to do that, and I feel like that's our responsibility, to be a good business partner. And so, you know, we really appreciate the school supporting us. It's a big deal for us for you to do that, and we love our relationship. And so David had this idea, Rescue My Desk, and he gets to go around to the schools, and you know, so he'd come back and he said, this is something that we could really do to help people. They're piecing things together, and you know, so, and when we saw some of the pictures, we were sorry we couldn't give everybody a new desk, but we can help you with that. But I'll let David tell a little bit, if you don't, you have to come over to the speaker, about the actual giveaway.
Yeah, I was just driving down the road one day. I just got done visiting one of the schools at Burke County, and one of the desks that I saw that made me think about this lady's been sitting there for 30 years with a 28 by 48 just table as her desk. And they had built-ins on the sides that were just bookshelves, so they stuck in her old storage closet. And she'd been sitting there for 30 years like that. And I thought, you know, we always do something for the students. We always do something for the teachers, but we leave out the staff. So I thought, as I was going down the road, we do this for a living. Surely guess we can help out do something. So I presented to Michelle. Of course, she's generous, and I knew she'd jump on board, and she did. And so that's where we come up with the idea. So we appreciate you guys and the school board for always supporting us as well. So, thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause. Yes. You want to get a picture of Melanie and Kim and Anything Office?
All right, we're going to just
Yeah.
how about you all get in the middle. And yes. Sorry about that. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll put you on the side, Michelle, on that spot, and a couple. And Dottie.
You'll line up perfect this time.
Thank you. So let's thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle, I do want to congratulate you on being the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and to comment on something you said too. Your business has been very generous to the school system, and we certainly appreciate that. And as a community partner and a community business partner in particular, thank you for your support of the public system.
Our next item on the agenda is public comment, and we do have public comment tonight. And we don't oftentimes have a public comment from someone as young as the one we have tonight. But Gwyneth Fry is here. So Gwyneth, we would like for you to come forward and tell us what's on your mind.
And while she's coming to, this may be the first time, I've been in education 33 years, Gwyneth, and I think this is probably the first time I've ever had a student public comment to the board, so you're a trendsetter. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Gwyneth Fry. I go to Lower Creek Elementary and I'm in 4th grade. I will be one of the newest sixth graders for the new school. I took a poll for the 4th grade of Lower Creek Elementary, and most of the kids said that they would like the name to stay. I think that we should keep the name William Lenoir because it shows history and it has tradition.
Okay, thank you, Gwyneth.
Thank you.
We truly appreciate your being here tonight and sharing that with us. Next item on the agenda is the superintendent, so I'll turn the meeting over at this time to Dr. Steve Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before I start on board information, I do want to recognize several of our administrators in the building and ask them to stand up and introduce themselves. We have several folks who are involved in the AP development or the leadership development program. I'd like for them to, at this point, just stand up and introduce themselves. Say a little bit about where you work and anything else you want to tell us within a minute.
I'm Corey Shreddit with West Hall High School. I teach history in Caldwell County Schools most of my life. But my parents are teachers in Caldwell County Schools. I love the school system, and thank you guys for everything that you do.
My name is Jessica B. I'm also a graduate of Caldwell County. I work at High High School as a counselor, and I'm just honored to be here as well.
Chris Robertson. I've been at Gateway Alternative School for 13 years, and I've really enjoyed the leadership program. It's helped me appreciate not just where I am now, but also maybe where I hope to go in my career. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good evening. I'm Courtney Bride, and I'm honored to serve as an assistant principal at High High School here in Lenoir. And I would like to say that it is the first day of intercourse and final exam testing here in Caldwell County for high school, and I'm still smiling. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, at this point I'd like to turn for board information the program over to Dr. Helen Hall and Libby Brown.
Thank you. Ms. Libby Brown is going to be in place, and as she's getting in place, I have to share with you that this little sketch we're giving of the history of William Lenoir Middle School from one beginning to another, it's really good. Libby was able to keep me on task because the reminiscing and the excitement that we shared, just pulling together information, was just unbelievable. And I wasn't alone because she has some history at William Lenoir also. But to begin, we're looking from one beginning to another. And I look at it as student, teacher, principal, and parent, and personnel administrator for Caldwell County Schools. In 1977, the Caldwell County Middle School, serving students grades 6 through 8, received its new name, William Lenoir Middle School. The gentleman that you see there, who was actually the beginning of Freedman High School, for the building that now houses, a portion of the building now houses William Lenoir Middle School, it's actually my grandfather. It was he who determined that Freedman needed a high school rather than sending students to Wilkesboro, to Oxford, to Tennessee. It was he that decided we in Caldwell County need a school that will serve the African-American children of Caldwell County so that they can be served in their own county. He was the first principal of Freedman School in 1906 to 1934. And it was he that moved the Freedman School to the site that was Harrington Street location. And there's some of you that may not know where Harrington Street is. It's on the hill from the gym where there's an apartment development. That was the previous site of Freedman School and Freedman High School. And that school, when it was established, served 7th grade, 1st grade through 7th grade. And in 1932 is when my grandfather, Theophilus Phillips, was able to see the high school grades added to Freedman School. The beginning on the horizon in 1958, it was then that a high school building was added as part of what is now William Lenoir Middle School. If you look at William Lenoir Middle School, it's really just the initial stretch from the office. That was all that made the high school. The wing that goes around to the backside and the whole wing that houses 6th grade, the cafeteria, none of that was there when William Lenoir Middle School was first established, because that was all that existed for Freedman High School, actually. And even as far as the cafeteria, I remember having to walk from the new site to the old building for lunch and for use of the gym, because those things we didn't have even as a high school. But we loved it because it was the first time that all the black students in Caldwell County were consolidated into one school in one place to be educated in competition and in companionship with each other. It was in 1966 that the last class graduated from Freedman High School. And it was actually in 1965 and 66 that our chair, Darrell Pennell, was at Hudson High School. And that was the first year that some of the students from Freedman High School left the school due to desegregation. And he and my youngest sister, Kathy, graduated together in 66 from Hudson. Just one example of how after Freedman was closed, all the students there went to respective schools in their community. Lenoir Junior High School was the name of the school that followed Freedman High School as a result of desegregation, effective in 1965 and 66. It was 1967 through 1973 that Lenoir Junior High School existed. And it was during that period of time that I came back as a military wife and settled back in Lenoir and actually taught school there during that period of time. The school opened in 1967 as Lenoir Junior High School for all students in grades 7 through 9. And from 1973 to 1977, Lenoir Junior High School began serving students only in grades 7 and 8. I remember the day that we had this exciting experience with William B. Lenoir coming to Lenoir Junior High School, someone well admired as an American engineer and former NASA astronaut. He was from the family of William Lenoir, for whom Lenoir, the city of Lenoir, was actually named. And we were so honored as one of our students got into studying space and studying astronauts. And through his efforts and his teachers, we were able to invite William Lenoir to the school. And it was just a thrilling moment for everyone. So actually that was the beginning of the thinking of what do we do if we name the new school, with the excitement for the whole, I won't just say the school and the students, it was the whole community excited about this unique thing that happened at Lenoir Junior High School. So it was determined that William Lenoir Middle School would replace the name of Lenoir Junior High beginning in 1977. And in 1977, the Caldwell County Middle Schools were serving students in grades 6 through 8. That's when it received its name, William Lenoir Middle School. So from this beginning, many, many things happened at William Lenoir. And as you see the face there, that was a totally different look as the school was expanded and expanded and expanded to meet the needs of William Lenoir Middle School. And as that was the front of the same look that existed when I was there as principal. So I have a lot of affection for the school because I know many of the things that it actually went through to sustain itself at the site where it is as best it could, even when we knew that change needed to be on the way as we continue to expand and we recognized our site as one landlocked and with many needs. But more important, since it was a wonderful school as it was in spite of obstacles, it is now a national school to watch for academic performance. It is a school of excellence for Project Lead the Way. It now has a total enrollment of 491 students, and it is serving grades 6 through 8. This is William Lenoir today. But we've talked about how it's changed and changed and changed since my grandfather, through me, through my children that went to William Lenoir, and now looking at future change. We are delighted that at this particular time in the history of William Lenoir Middle School, we have a vision of a new school, a new building for the school that will possibly continue to exist as William Lenoir Middle School. As a younger lady spoke, and as many teachers have spoken, many community people have spoken, William Lenoir resonates in Caldwell County as a middle school. And I'm glad to know that. So in 2015, we have the prospect of the vision here for William Lenoir Middle School to embark on a new vision. And we want all of you to support us in that effort, from one beginning to another. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Dr. Hall? Debbie? That was excellent. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'll move on down to board action. I have two items. One is a proposed revision to the board policy manual. Last month, I promised you we were done. We did find that we needed to have the index for the policy manual. So what you have in front of you, a couple of pages of the indexes for policies 1200, 1300, 1400, 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800. And so this is the index that will go with the board policy manual. This will help as people begin to it'll be a guide as people use the online as well as the hard copy of the board policy manual. I would like to propose that we place this on a 1-month comment period for approval in February.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we approve the revisions to the index of the policies that are indicated?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the revisions to the board policy manual, including the new index as it has been presented to us for a 1-month comment period.
Second.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes.
Okay, we'll see it again in February, and then we should be done. On the item 2 is the school calendars, and these are out for 1-month comment period. I would like to call your attention to this, and particularly for members of the public who may be watching, but we have 2 calendars that we're proposing for a 1-month comment period. In your manual, you will see, or on your lap or your iPad, you will see the traditional calendar. Needless to say, that will start school will start August the 25th for students, end on June the 11th, which is also the graduation date. It's traditional calendar, not a lot of flexibility, 180 days built into the calendar. Some of the things that the public really request of us is that a little bit of extended time at November, 3 days for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks at Christmas, an Easter break built into the calendar, as well as some early release days and professional development days built into the calendar. It is a 180-day calendar with the provision at the bottom that snow makeup days will be following the procedure that we now have is on Saturdays, half days on Saturdays. So we'd like to leave that one out for a 1-month comment period, as well as the next calendar serves the middle college and the early college because they are innovative high schools. They do have the flexibility of having a different starting and closing date than the traditional schools. Their first date for students would be August the 7th. The ending date would be May the 20th. Again, many of the same qualities that we have in the traditional calendar is here. We tried to match it as much as possible, 180-day calendar. The big exception, of course, is at spring break. They have less time at spring break, but they have a little bit more at Christmas. So it kind of balances out. But we'd like to leave that out for a 1-month comment period as well, those two calendars.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the calendars as presented for the year 2014-2015? One of those being the traditional calendar and the other being the calendar for the early college and the middle college. And that would be for a 1-month comment period. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. We put the 2014-2015 calendars on a 1-month public comment period.
Second.
Second. Any comments, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Stone. Next on the agenda, we have Dr. Trish Johnson, Associate Superintendent for Human Resource Services.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I have several items for your attention this evening, starting with Exhibit 4. Exhibit 4 just includes usual and customary personnel items for your attention only, requiring no action. Exhibit 5 includes usual and customary personnel items for action. I respectfully recommend approval of these items as they have been presented to you.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the usual and customary personnel matters as has been presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the usual and customary personnel matters as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Then Exhibit 6 includes student transfer requests since the last board meeting. Since the December board meeting, we have had a total of 36 requests for student transfers. Of the 36 requests, 33 meet established board criteria. We respectfully recommend approval of the 33 transfers as they've been presented. If approved tonight, that brings our total transfer approval request for this year, 2013-14, to 572. I respectfully recommend approval of those transfer requests.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the 2013-2014 student transfers as has been presented?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve the 2013-2014 student transfers as Dr. Johnson has presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Jeff Church, Assistant Superintendent for Auxiliary Services.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Stone, before I present my Exhibit 7, we do have a couple folks in the audience I'd like to recognize. We have our architect, Mr. Steve Walker, with us. We also have Ms. Lisa Vaughn, Principal of William Lenoir, and also have our maintenance director, Sid West, who spent countless hours on this project, and he will retire about 2 weeks before groundbreaking. So just want to tell him how much I appreciate him and all he's done with this. You have before you Exhibit 7, which are the construction bids for the new middle school. Hickory Construction was the low bidder. Base bid was $13,996,000. We recommend, the Facilities Committee recommends accepting the listed alternates at $196,555. We've also worked with Hickory Construction with value engineering, which was $335,300. And so with that, I respectfully request that you accept the bids as presented. I'm gonna split this up into two. So I'm gonna, first thing, we need to accept the bids as presented from Hickory Construction Company.
Very good. Do I hear a motion that we accept the bids as has been presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the bid from Hickory Construction Company as presented.
Is there a second?
I'd like to second the motion because Hickory Construction was the lowest bidder.
Any comments? Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
For total project, we also have, this is for borrowing purposes, we also have $642,750, which contains furnishing, landscaping, special inspections, technologies, what have you. And there's also some interest earnings that's in an account at the county from previous projects at the rate of, at the amount of $50,348. So for borrowing purposes, I request that we approve the $14,500,000 and transferring the $50,348 from the county.
Do I hear a motion that we approve for borrowing purposes the amount of $550,348, and that would include the transfer of interest earnings from the county of $50,348. Do I hear a motion that we approve this for borrowing purposes?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve for borrowing purposes the amount of $14,500,000, as well as the transfer of interest earnings in the amount of $50,348.
Correct.
Very good.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
On behalf of Ms. Coffey, our Facilities Committee Chair, Dottie Darcy, Dwayne Knight, we thank you.
I have one question for you, Dr. Church.
Yes, sir.
Up there, the alternatives, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, those are other alternatives that's going to be added, but there was one that was left out, alternate number 2, and that is for a running track around the soccer field. Now, this will have lights, but it will not have a running track.
Exactly.
Okay, but that is our very first priority if we find, how much is it, $397,000.
Yeah, roughly $400,000.
That's the first thing we push back is the running track.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Church. Next, we have Carla Miller, our Finance Director.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Stone, Exhibit 8 contains 2 budget amendments for your consideration tonight. The first budget amendment is number 10, and it is to the State Public School Fund. It's an increase to the State Public School Fund of $179,478, and the biggest piece of that is our new SRO grant that's going to expand our SRO program in the schools, and that's an increase of $167,466. There are some other smaller pieces like technology interest for $83, but that's what comprises the budget amendment to the State Public School Fund. And budget amendment number 11 is to the Capital Outlay Fund. And this is really just a flow through. It's the way that we get our yellow buses now. It's through a lease purchase program, and the state actually gives us the funds to pay for those buses that we add. And it increases the Capital Outlay Fund by $1.5 million. If you approve these budget amendments tonight, our total operating budget will be $117,282,358, and I respectfully request that you approve these budget amendments.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the budget amendments to the State Public School Fund as well as the Capital Outlay Fund as they have been presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the budget amendments presented this evening be approved as given.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very
Ms.
much.
Miller. Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is the naming of the new middle school, and the board has been thinking about this and individually talking about this for some period of time. Does anyone want to make a comment or have anything to say at this point?
Mr. Chairman, it's just like Gwyneth Price spoke today, speaking even as a student. You hear that voice all through the William Lenoir community, that they would like the school to stay William Lenoir Middle School. One important thing for us to really acknowledge is that we're not building a brand new school. We're building a brand new building, but we're moving a school, which is William Lenoir. And in order to maintain it with its name and the spirit and the pride of the Wildcats, I think that would be very, very important to the community. And that would be my recommendation.
Any other comments?
I agree.
I agree.
Do I hear a motion
Mr.
in
Chairman,
regards to the naming of the new school?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we maintain the name William Lenoir Middle School for our new middle school.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay.
I got a comment. At the October meeting, board meeting, I made a suggestion just to drop the William and call it Lenoir Middle School. I thought that'd be great. Even suggested change the name from Wildcat to Bearcat, and I thought, that's great. Still keeping with the cat theme in the High Brighton district, because no school in Lenoir has been called Lenoir since 1977. And by calling it Lenoir, I said it'd be a community school like Gamble Middle, Granite Falls Middle, Hudson Middle. It'd be another community school. I thought, what a great idea. Well, since my suggestion, I've received phone calls, emails, even had people stop me on the street. So, I found out that people over 60 like the name Lenoir Middle School, but overwhelmingly, people under 60 want to keep William Lenoir. So with this overwhelming number of people, I think we should keep it William Lenoir Middle School too, because William Lenoir has a history just like Lenoir Bearcats did. So the citizens have spoken, and I think we should name the school William Lenoir Middle School.
Any other comments?
I think it's prudent too. It shows too that we're utilizing and making the best use of the resources we have by not having to change names and so forth.
Uniforms.
Well, I feel like Helen, I think it's an extension of an existing already operational school, and I felt like all along that it should remain Lenoir William Middle School. Yes.
Anyone
William
else?
Lenoir
Any
Middle.
other comments? Okay, the motion is that the new school built next to High Brighton High School will be named William Lenoir Middle School. And we've had a second. And since we have no more comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So it will be William Lenoir Middle School. Now, the next item on the agenda is the naming of the main entrance road going into the school. And we have talked individually about this as well. Does anyone wish to have any comments or say anything at this point?
Mr. Chairman, the Facilities Committee has had some discussion about this, and we felt that in keeping with the theme of Panther Trail, that to name the new road Wildcat Trail would be very appropriate, fitting for the school. Another thing that Dr. Church was kind enough to check on is there aren't any other Wildcat Road, Wildcat Path, Wildcat Lane in Lenoir to confuse people who are putting it in Google Maps or their GPS or whatever. And so I would at this time make the motion that the new entrance road into the new William Lenoir Middle School be called Wildcat Trail.
Okay, do I hear a second to that motion?
I will second that.
Okay. Does anyone have any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. So it will be Wildcat Trail. And it'll go in as a wildcat and come out as a panther. There at the high school. But anyway, that's good. The board will note, and I have talked individually to each of you in regards to the board committees, and those are in your packets. So that is basically for your information, and I appreciate your input on this. And so that will be our committees for 19, why am I saying 19? For 2014. So we'll move on now. Dr. Stone, do you have any information?
Just two items. Just a reminder that the high school students in traditional schools are in exams this week. They should finish those up on Thursday, and Friday for them will be a makeup day as well, early release day for high schools. And also Monday is a holiday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. The district will be closed on that day, and Tuesday is an optional teacher work day. So a couple of days coming up to be mindful of. And to keep our high school students motivated so they'll do well in the exams.
Yes.
Okay. The board is going to need to go into closed session. Do I hear a motion that we go into closed session?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we move into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, period 318, period 11A3, Garrison versus Caldwell County Schools Board of Education. Steve Stone.
Is there a second?
Second motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. We shouldn't have any business.
Motion is passed, and when we come back out, there will be no further business, and there'll be no further action taken on any item this evening. So we do appreciate each of you being here tonight, and have a safe trip home and a good rest of the week.